Well, good morning, YouTube people. It is March 4th, 2017. I have not put a actual video up in quite a long time again. Just been, busy. But figured I'd do a quick update on what's going on in my little shop. Been putzing on this 31 Chevy yet. Haven't touched it as of late. But got my carburetor figured out. Not the one that you see there in the video, but I have the original Carter finally pieced together after about 3 different carburetors and some custom made parts I had to come up with, and should have that on here shortly. Most of the wiring is done. I have it all converted 12 volt. Other than the headlights, I got to put my sockets in for the lights, finish the wiring, get my turn signal lights in the front, and if everything goes well, in a couple weeks this one should be driving out of here. It'll never be done, but it'll be driving out of here. I don't remember if I showed the video of this or not. It's been so long, but I did fix the driver's door. All the wood in this side was completely gone, so there was no wood to take out. It was nothing there. But took everything apart, made a metal framework in there, tied it all into the cowling, the dash, the roof. The wood structure on the floor was gone right about here, so cut that out and redid that in metal. And now the door works just like, probably better than it did new. My gaps all look good. I had to heat up this bottom hinge a little bit, give that a little tweakage. Gaps aren't perfect, but you know what? It's a wood-bodied car. I don't think they ever were perfect. I did put a new floor pan in the back, and the whole back of the car I had to retie together. I'd show you, but I got too much crap in the way. And he came up with this deck lid I'm supposed to make work. I'm not sure if that's going to work because it's off a Ford, and it's a little bit smaller. So we'll see. I might just get creative here and make a new one. So that's kind of where I'm at in the 30 or 31 Chevy. Like I said, I will be getting on this one pretty quick. What I have been working on was the panel truck, a 55 Chevy panel. Customer wants it more like a gasser. So what I did is I lowered the spring hangers down. In the front I just used the original cast iron hanger or shackle mount, reworked it. I got gussets and plates in here and it's bolted on. So it's in the same location, just dropped down 3 inches. And pretty much exactly what I did in the back. Dropped it down 3 inches. Made a cross member in between the two because I cut out the original cross member. So the frame was kind of squishy. I didn't like that. The lighting in here isn't the greatest. So the front end's pretty much done. And then I think it was last weekend I finished up the headers. Got them where I wanted them. Different motor mounts. Had to make different motor mounts for the front. And then it came with the aftermarket tranny mount, but it was really messed up, whoever put that in there. And we're making this a 4-speed manual, so redid the tranny mount, so at least it'll come out of the truck now. Obviously redid the shock mounts so the shocks would work. I still got to come up with a sway bar. But with this system here, other than, lowering blocks, everything will be stock parts. So it'll be nothing bizarre. Still going to upgrade the disc brakes and obviously a 5-lug. But we're still in mock-up yet. But that's where I'm at in the 55. I got a ton of hours into it already. And the owner of it was actually up here last week. He got to see it for the first time now, and he's pretty pleased. Gave me a couple other things he wants done, and we'll just keep going at it. The goal is to have this one done by, late spring. So I got my work cut out. I'm going to use a hydraulic master cylinder for the clutch. I got the late model master and booster up for the brakes. He did not want it underneath the floor. So that's why it's hanging on the firewall. I did have to make, and I'd show you, but it's so dark in there. But we can only find the clutch pedal setup, the brake pedal setup for hanging the brakes on the firewall. We did look for a little bit. We could not find the master for the clutch, you know, a dual pedal. So we bought the brake assembly, pedal assembly, and I modified it and put a pedal on it for the clutch. So it looks almost factory on the inside. And we got everything hanging on firewall, so that turned out pretty cool. Power steering upgrade. I don't know if I showed that or not the last time, but that's in there. That was a kit that they bought. Personally, I don't know if I would have bought that kit, but it'll work. I don't like the fact that it's just an itty bitty little drag link, but it'll have a little bit of bump steer, I'm sure, but it shouldn't be too bad as long as I keep everything, you know, parallel. So that's that project, and then obviously there's always other projects going on. So I got a turbo 400 out of a 62 Cadillac limo that I'm putting a shorter short shaft in. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but we'll say that. So I'm making it more standard. I had that, you know, 1.5 foot extension originally. Car originally had the 390 and then part of the Hydromatic tranny. So we're gonna put a 472 Caddy motor in it, late model, and then a turbo 400. It'll just be easier making it work with the short shaft. And I got the flathead over here yet. I finally got the piston out of that. I think that was last weekend also. I just had enough. I've had every old guy in the fucking county tell me that, you know, I gotta soak it in this, soak it in that, you know, use this, use that. It's like, yeah, okay. So I've done everything the old people have told me. That piston did not move. So I went to abrupt force and basically I took a hunk of hardwood, machined it out so it would fit into the bottom of the piston, hitting on the connecting rod and the wrist pin. And it was a really blunt punch and a big hammer. After a couple good strikes, she came free and got it out. I'd show you it, but it's buried in all this other stuff. And now the engine turns over. I did pull the rest of the pistons out. I did get most of the studs out. I think I got like 3 studs I'm going to have to get creative on, but that I'm not overly worried about. But it doesn't look too pitted, so I'm going to get that cleaned up, and hopefully by spring this will be going back together. I'm not going to rebuild it. We're trying to keep this as low buck as possible. So I know we're not doing it exactly the right way, but it'll work. And I see my video is almost 8 minutes long, so this will take probably all day to upload. But that's what's going on. We had a little brief spring 2 weeks ago. It looks like spring's coming back next week, so I'm going to enjoy the nice warm weather. But I'm still stuck in here working, so that's where I'm at. Later, guys.